AskReddit by possibility C7292. What famous people have side skills so large that they could be famous for that too if they wanted to be? Vanilla Ice was ranked like 6th in the world in jet ski racing. Wasn't he a competitive motocross racer as well? Hugh Laurie, actor, House, Blackadder amongst many others, is an accomplished jazz pianist. That time an interviewer lists his many accolades and asked him, please tell me you're bad at cooking so I can feel better about myself, and he goes, no, I cook like an angel. Fairly well known as is, but James Cameron seems to only direct movies to pay for his deep sea exploration. Cameron is a known deep sea explorer that makes spectacular blockbusters as a hobby to pay for the science. Also develops revolutionary film equipment because why not? Terry Crews is actually a really talented artist. He used to do police sketches. They sort of show it in some Brooklyn 99 episodes. Edit, it was actually courtroom sketches. Also, as people have commented below, he also plays football, is a good flautist, designs furniture, the list goes on. Man of many talents. I love Terry almost as much as Terry loves his yogurt. Brian May is the world-level guitarist for the band Queen as well as many solo projects. He also has a PhD in astrophysics and is taken seriously as a researcher in interplanetary dust. The PhD is not honorary. His dissertation is titled A Survey of Radial Velocities in the Zodiacal Dust Cloud. He is a visiting researcher at Imperial College. All of Queen were extremely talented outside of music. John Deacon studied electronic engineering and created the DC amp. Roger Taylor studied dentistry, then got a Bachelor of Science in biology after finding dentistry boring. Freddie Mercury was an accomplished artist and even designed the famous Queen logo. Steve Martin, actor, comedian but also well-known serious banjo player. He has won 3 Grammys for it, so yeah, he's a bit serious. Dina Davis almost made the 2000 Olympic archery team. In a similar vein, Jason Statham was, at one point before his acting career, 12th in the world for platform diving. He never qualified for the Olympics, left the sport because it made no money, got recruited to become a model, then turned to acting. Peter Weller is very well known as RoboCop and Buckaroo Banzai, but is also a serious art historian with a PhD in the Italian Renaissance. Ken Jeong gave up practicing medicine in California to begin acting. He apparently often moonlights as the official medic on set since he's qualified and it's one less person they have to deal with. J.R.R. Tolkien would have been famous in academia for his work on Beowulf regardless of his work as a novelist. He was a professor at Oxford for 34 years, it's not like he was unknown. Matthew Perry was a nationally ranked tennis player in Canada, top 20 in singles, top 10 in doubles. Deleted. Gerald Ford was offered contracts by the Lions and the Packers to play professional football out of college. Instead he decided to go to law school. Do you like football? Do I ever? Do you like nachos? Yes, Mr. Ford. Jimmy Carter, who had an advanced nuclear science degree, took the largest then allowable radiation dose when Admiral Rickover wanted his new nuclear Navy boys to get some hands-on experience. Locking down and cleaning up the largest nuclear accident in the world in 1952. Chalk River, Ontario, was 5 of 7, Chernobyl was a 7 of 7, when the Chalk River reactor core melted down. Part of what they were doing was testing nuclear fuel for the new US nuclear subs. The allowable dose was about 1,000 times higher in 1952. Carter had radioactive urine for months. Carter, who wrote 32 books, was born in 24, 99 years old now. Full stop. Jimmy Carter was the only US president to write an article for Fine Woodworking magazine while in office. Will Ferrell was one of the most decorated kickers in California high school football. I believe he still holds the season record for field goals made at his school, and just barely missed the cut for USC as a walk-on. Had he transferred to a smaller school and stuck with kicking, he might have had a very different career. And he drums for the Chili Peppers. Dude's talented as fuck. Randy Johnson, Hall of Fame baseball player. After he retired, he took his hobby of photography and started a business with it. He's photographed primarily musicians on tour, and was the official tour photographer for several major bands. He studied photojournalism at school. He's now a staple NFL sideline photog, and his logo is a dead bird. Viggo Mortensen. I really thought someone else would mention him. He is fluent in English, Spanish, Danish, and French, and can function in a lot of others. He paints, released 3 jazz albums, incredibly accomplished horseman, and has written a book of poetry. Still writes poetry. Has had his photography in an exhibition, surfs, often did all his own stunts, and picked up sword fighting real easy. Love this guy. He purchased the horses he rode in LOTR and Hidalgo. I believe he grew up riding and thank God picked up sword fighting so easy. Dude got no prep for LOTR since he was a last minute replacement. I need to rewatch those, it's been too long. Greg Graffin of Bad Religion is a professor at UCLA. Michael Crichton had an MD but decided to be a writer instead. It's one of the reasons ER was so accurate, both for the medicine shown and how hospitals actually worked at the time. He was the creator and one of the executive producers. Nick Offerman is an accomplished woodworker. He also plays the saxophone, taught stage combat, and studied and performed kabuki, which is why Ron Swanson did those things. Jack Johnson was world number 2 in surfing, then broke his ankle and instead became a chart-topping musician. For some reason this is the one that surprises me most. To think, we almost lived in a world without banana pancakes. Bryan Adams has a career as an award-winning photographer. He was asked to photograph Queen Elizabeth during her Golden Jubilee. As in the summer of '69. Bryan Adams. Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. Also a pilot, not recreation, but type-rated commercial, and actually worked for an air carrier. Supposedly did some high-profile sorties including evacuating British citizens from conflict zones. Pilot the band's own aircraft at times, with one of the most famous is a Boeing 747 with Iron Maiden livery Air Force One. Owns own training and maintenance company of sorts too. High-level fencer as well. Jason Lee, my name is Earl, was pro skater. Hey, Earl. Aldous Hodge is an actor most famous for playing Alec Hardison in Leverage, but has also been in features like Hidden Figures and Straight Outta Compton. He's also an incredibly talented watchmaker. https://www.vogue.com/article/black-adam-star-aldous-hawkeyman-wardrobe-custom-watch close and plays the violin. He's a treasure. Haven't seen Dolph Lundgren mentioned here yet. That man has a master's degree in chemical engineering. He can also smell crime. Gerard Way, My Chemical Romance, and wrote The Umbrella Academy. Both very famous in their own regard. Yeah, this one is legitimately crazy to me. I had always known him for MCR and only recently found out that there is a whole generation of people that know him only as the writer of Umbrella Academy. Jeff Goldblum is also an accomplished jazz pianist. Former US Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice is a concert-level pianist. Moberg was a professional baseball catcher in the 30s and 40s. He is also a polyglot, incredibly well-read and also one of the most important spies of WW2 for the Allies. one of the most instrumental figures in monitoring the Nazis' pursuit of the nuclear bomb but also sabotaging their efforts. Akihito, the former emperor of Japan, is a published theological researcher and has specialized in studies within the taxonomy of the goby. Not too long ago Tom Hardy turned up at a Jiu-Jitsu tournament unexpectedly and won it. Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy on Married with Children, is a black belt. Hardy is a blue belt and younger, so he probably wouldn't get folded, but O'Neill is more accomplished. Kevin Bacon is also, rightly, famous for his band The Bacon Brothers with Michael. But my favorite has got to be Paul Newman. He kicked ass as a professional race car driver. https://www.skoda-motors.com/yen/paul-newman-star-who-kept-racing-until-8-0s-celebrities-winning 4 SCCA championships as a driver, coming in second in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and winning his class, and coming in 5th overall in the 24 Hours of Daytona. And he was pretty good at making salad dressing. Hedy Lamarr laid the groundwork for Bluetooth. For a lot of radio transmission actually. She did it during WW2 to have jam-free radios. Trivia: she was kinda pissed at Brooks for the Hedy Lamarr in Blazing Saddles. She actually sued. Brooks was like, "It's CD, just give her the money." Rowan Atkinson can drive. I think he's second all-time best celebrity driver on Top Gear. He could have been a race car driver. He also has an electrical engineering degree from Oxford, so he would probably also be really good at that. Jennifer Tilly has won many professional poker tournaments. Also gets a slice of The Simpsons as her ex was a co-creator. Christopher Lee, he had a pretty successful military career. He's also released 4 heavy metal albums. Does dead people count? Leonardo da Vinci. It's not even an if. He's doing all the side skill to highest degree and famous for it. One might even call him a Renaissance man. Bernie Williams, former NY Yankee outfielder with a couple of WS rings, won a Grammy for his jazz guitar album. Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle went on to become a pretty decent car racer and is now a NASCAR driver. He invested his acting money into buying parking garages. Just rakes in the money. I think I saw a video of Seth MacFarlane singing or playing violin well. He sings the hell out of old jazz standards. I think he's better than Bubble. Rod Stewart has an absolutely legendary model train layout. https://www.bbc.com/entertainment-arts-50403561 He is highly regarded amongst model train enthusiasts. Sebastian Bach and Patrick Swayze would be jealous. Paul Newman was a serious race car driver, in addition to his career as an actor. Salad dressing's not half bad either. Carrie Fisher became a sought-after script doctor. She was also a talented singer and writer. Dina Davis came very close to making the Olympic team as an archer. Margot Robbie did most of her own skating, and Tonya Richard Gere was an amazing pianist who played his own composition in Pretty Woman. Steve Carell is a very good ice skater because he played hockey a lot before he got big for acting. They wrote that plot of Michael going to the ice rink in The Office for that reason. Also shout out to Bridget Mendler for making the U-turn from Disney Kid to getting her PhD. Burt Reynolds was a standout college football player. He could have played pro instead of acting. Brian May, Queen. He is a working astrophysicist who recently helped NASA return its first ever asteroid sample to Earth. May said he was immensely proud to be part of the team that collected the sample from the asteroid Bennu. Not his first rodeo, either. Dermot Mulroney, the main actor from the movie My Best Friend's Wedding, is also an accomplished cellist. I think he even played for the Mission Impossible movies. Dude is handsome AF, can act and play cello so elegantly. Lucy Liu is a compelling, awesome and accomplished sapphic painter under the name Yu Ling. Anthony Hopkins is also a composer. That's incredible. My sister is getting her master's in music comp right now. That is an insane skill. Takes a very adept musical mind to make it all work. Especially before we had computers mixing it all for us.